Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Farm with Paul. And when we talk about dairy farming, there is one thing we can never stop talking about, which is calf rearing. After you have purchased your cow and it has actually calved down and it has actually given you a calf, how do you rear that calf to ensure that it's productive enough and be able to be profitable in your farm? So kindly follow us as we talk about calf rearing on this episode. And before we do that, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, kindly subscribe, and if you have already subscribed, make sure you share, like, and also comment, and we'll be bringing you more episodes according to what you inquire from us. Leave a comment and we'll always be here to show you. So let's go to the farm. When we talk about calf rearing, there are some of the factors that you should consider before even bringing a calf to your own pen. And those factors include your house at which you are keeping your calf. Each calf should stay individually, meaning each calf should occupy its own space. The other thing you should ensure is your house does not allow water inside or rain. The other thing is proper air circulation inside your house to ensure like the air circulates very well and to also extract the bad odor from your calf pen. So the other thing is, whenever your calf is born today, what are these stages that you're supposed to follow so that to ensure your cows develop properly and grows actually to be a mature cow that is very productive? One of the things is, if your calf is born today, make sure you take the weight of that calf. That will help you in determining actually the birth weight and consecutively how that cow grows, because each month you'll be weighing that calf to determine if the cow is growing properly. But when it's born, let's say for example it's born today, what we ensure is we properly feed that calf on cholesterol. Cholesterol contains what we call the antibodies, and at this moment, before 2 hours elapse, the calf's stomach is quite permeable. So those antibodies will actually go into the body and will help your calf during growth to prevent most of these diseases. The other thing you should also know is you should also let your cow actually lick that calf completely to make it clean, or you can wipe that calf properly with a soft, clean cloth. After a 1 week, you should actually introduce what we call water and some feeds. You can start introducing some feeds to that calf. But at this time, make sure your calf is also consuming around 6 liters of milk per day, which can be divided into 2 times, either morning 3 liters and the evening, or divide into 3 times, whereby you can be giving 2 liters in the morning, 2 liters in the afternoon, and 2 liters in the evening. And one thing you should ensure when feeding this milk is that the milk you're feeding should be warm enough, which means after milking, don't take your milk to the house, immediately sieve and give it to the calf before it cools down. For those who are using what we call the milk replacers, make sure you read the instructions on that bag that tells you how much you're supposed to feed per liter of how much you're supposed to feed per calf, and how much amount of water you're supposed to mix with the first time you're actually feeding that calf. And also make sure you check on something called the temperature. The temperature should be at least above 37 degrees and above when actually you are feeding your calf, and this will prevent some diseases like the pneumonia or even choking the stomach of that calf. So after the cows attain at least 2 weeks, we start introducing like hay. This hay will actually help in actually developing the rumen of that cow. The same time we also introduce water. I know most people will ask us, yes, we have very small calves which are here, yet we have our clean water here, yet they do not continuously consume that water. What we use here is we use the feeding bottle for the calf to feed milk, and we use a different container to feed water. What does this tell you? Yes, the calf is able to identify the difference between milk and water. So, but when you feed your calf on the same material you are using to feed that calf, the container you're using is the same for milk and water, your calf won't be able to differentiate the same, so it will take excessive water. But when there is a total big difference, your calf will be able to take water at will. So make sure you also observe that. When you start introducing feed, we can start by even introducing the hay, which helps in the development of the rumen, because at that time the rumen is not developed, it's still very soft. So hay helps in developing that rumen that will help actually that cow later in what we call the digestions of those feed. we also start introducing our cow on pellets. And these pellets, whenever you give feeds today, let's say we start today in the morning, by tomorrow morning, make sure you change all the feed that you have given that calf. If it's the hay that you have given and it's remained, make sure you take off that hay. If it's water, the remaining of that water, make sure you remove that water and clean the container and replace with fresh water. This helps to avoid most of the diseases and most of the indigestion most of the diseases that affect actually the digestive system of your calf, which actually affects the growth of your calf. When you come to weaning your calf, make sure you wean your calf gradually. What I mean by gradual is you reduce the amount of milk slowly by slowly, as you also add the amount of concentrate. Let's say, for example, you are feeding your calves on pellets and other materials like hay and the sweet potato vines. You increase on that as you reduce the amount of milk as your cows heads to the last days of weaning. And make sure one thing, you deworm your calf monthly for the first 6 months. And why do we do this? For the first month, you weigh your cow, and this time you are not using the bar, you are using now the weighing tape, which is actually very easy for and very easy to use and very easy to interpret. By that, it will help you to know the amount of dewormer you're going actually to give your calf. You use that, and the next month you still do the same. But the next, you make sure every month you're going to deworm this calf. You actually interchange what we call the active ingredients to avoid resistance. And why do you deworm our calves monthly? This is because one of the things is, if your cow has a lot of worms, it will actually cause what we call retunted growth. So your calf won't mature very fast as required, because we intend our calf, by the time we're weaning our calf at 3 months, it should be actually 2 times the weight at which it was born with. For example, our calf was born with 40 kgs. At 3 months, that calf should be around 80 kgs. And to attain that, you must eradicate the worms. Another thing you know is, most farmers do not deworm their calf when they are pregnant. So by that time, some of these tapeworms can be transferred through the milk we are feeding our cow, or our calf. So to avoid that, what we do is ensure we deworm our calves monthly, and that one will actually help in the growth. The other thing is introduce what we call minerals. For us, we have found the mineral block here, and you can see this is just a 3 weeks calf, and it helps actually, instead of licking the walls, what will happen is it is going to lick the block and be able to obtain some of these minerals. But after 3 months to 6 months, make sure you feed your calf on the normal mineral salt, so that you can be able to have the maximum nutrients and the maximum minerals for that calf to grow. The crucial part is the quality of your feed, and this comes at least 3 months and above after you have weaned your calf. That's where most farmers make mistake, because once you withdraw the milk, you have withdrawn a lot of feeds, because what we know is milk is a complete meal, meaning it contains all the proteins, all the carbohydrates. So the moment you withdraw that, make sure you're also feeding very good quality feed, so that your cow does not actually retard or actually have a lot of issues during growth, or even change the color, because that is where most people make the mistake. So make sure the quality of feed that you're feeding to that calf is very good, and make sure it has all the nutrients, and make sure by the time you're weaning your calf, that calf should be able to take a whole kg of dairy meal, or what we call the calf pellets, for it to grow. Anyway guys, wacha tufike hapo, let's get there. And whenever you have any questions, make sure you follow us, make sure you comment and leave your question below there, so that we can be able to bring you all this content and help you grow your farm each day. And also remember, we are here at 3 months, so, and we know our calf stop being a calf at 6 months, and how are we going to develop that from that month to the 6 months? Make sure you follow us for that episode which is coming up, and we'll be very happy hearing from you as we continue this journey of farming.